English. Today we will be starting a new topic, that is comparing adjectives. Okay. Now, before comparing adjectives, first of all, we will just do a quick revision of what are actually adjectives, and I'm sure you all must be knowing that what are actually adjectives. Adjectives is something that tells us that how is our noun, which, like, what type of our noun is, like it describes the noun. Okay, it tells us about the quality of the noun, it describes the noun, like what type of that noun is. Okay. Now, for example, if I say that Huma is tall, okay, so here Huma is noun, right? And what will be adjective? Tall is adjective because it is telling us, it is describing about Huma, right? It is describing about our noun. Okay, so any word that describes about the noun becomes adjective. So here, tall is adjective, right? If I say Rehan is a slim, what will be the adjective? Slim is adjective. Okay. If I say Filza is a beautiful girl, okay, so what will be adjective? Beautiful will be an adjective. And if I say that my mother cooks delicious food, okay, so in this case, again, what is the adjective? Delicious is the adjective. Okay. Now we are talking about comparing adjectives. What does a compare means? Compare means that we check about, we describe the description of two things. Okay, we compare them together. For example, if I say that Huma is tall and then I say that Filza is also tall, so I will now consider that, or I will observe that who is taller than them, taller out of them. Okay, so this is what compare means, that we compare two or more things with each other. Okay, we check about the similarities or the differences or between those two people. Okay, now here are some examples. Whenever we are comparing the adjectives together, we add the term er at the end. Okay, here are a few examples. Tall becomes taller when we are comparing them. Okay, short becomes shorter, heavy becomes heavier, far, okay, it's far, it becomes farther, pretty becomes prettier. At the end of all these adjectives, you can see that er is present, er is added. Okay, then again, see here it is following a regular pattern. Okay, these will be regular adjectives. Now obviously there are a few adjectives that are irregular, that do not follow the regular pattern. Okay, for example, good. If I ask you about good, will it be gooder? No, gooder is not an English word. Okay, it will be better. I use the term better. If I tell you little, okay, and if we are comparing, if we need to write a comparing adjective for little, will it be litter or littler? I know that litter is a word, okay, but in this case it is not related with the little, this word little that we are talking about. We are talking about a size, right? We're talking about someone's size. Okay, and here this little is telling us about the garbage. Okay, so don't confuse these two words together, right? Here, if we are talking about the adjective, the superlative forms or the comparing forms of this adjective, okay, so litter or littler, they are not the English words. Okay, less is a proper word. Okay, so I will also be providing you list for these comparing adjectives, and the only way to learning the only way that you can learn when to use which type of adjective, okay, it is the only way you can learn is by reading more and more books, by reading journals, by reading newspapers, okay, and by memorizing those lists that I will be providing you. Okay, now here there are a few examples. We are comparing we are comparing two nouns together. Okay, and whenever we are comparing two nouns, then we will be using the higher form of adjectives. Okay, for example, if I have asked you that Huma is tall than Fiza, okay, so this sentence here is wrong. Okay, the grammar here is actually wrong. I will not use the word tall. Whenever I'm comparing two nouns together, okay, the adjective tall is wrong. We will always use its higher form. Okay, that is taller. I'm adding er at the end. Huma is taller than Fizza. Okay, the next example, Saad is heavy than Abdullah. Again, this sentence is wrong. Okay, again, I'm comparing two nouns together, and when I'm comparing two nouns, then this form of adjective, the simple form of adjective, is not correct. I will use its higher form. Okay, and whenever I use a higher form, I will be using the word that has er at the end. Okay, it will be Saad is heavier than Abdullah. Right, then comes the last example. America is far than Dubai from Pakistan. Okay, again this is wrong. Why? Because I'm comparing these two nouns together. Okay, and whenever I'm comparing two nouns, the simple form of adjective, okay, this is not correct. I will be using its higher form, so I will be using the term farther. America is farther than Dubai from Pakistan. Also remember one thing, you should know the difference when to use then and when to use then. Whenever I'm comparing two things together, okay, for example, I'm comparing Huma and Fiza together, I will use the term then, THAN then. Okay, always remember that whenever we are comparing two things together, we use the term then, THAN. Okay, and whenever I am referring something to time, okay, then I use this one, THEN. Okay, for example, look here. I will go to the mall and then I will go home. Here, are we comparing two things together? No. But we are referring to the time. Okay? We are actually referring to the time. I'm saying that I will go to the mall and then I will go home. Like after going to the mall, then I will go home. So here I'm referring to the time, right? So whenever we are referring something to the time, we will use this then, THEN. And whenever I am comparing two things together, okay, for example, here I'm comparing Huma and Fiza together, like who is taller, okay. So when we are comparing two things together, we will use this then, THAN.